Da 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 da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes to get those notifications out. In the meantime, if you've never met me, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside, and I came in today. I quite often come in with a little giggle at myself. It is in that hesitation of hitting that live button. Sometimes, when I come in later on in the evening, those feelings of almost being like the naughty girl, leaving things right to the last minute. I like to expend all my energy throughout the day. I wake up in the morning with a full cup, and during the course of the day, it's just and in truth, I would have to say 80% of it, I have no idea of where it's going, right? I wouldn't even know where to start in, I don't know, wishing it out there. I have those gratefuls that I do in the morning. I have those characters in my life, friends, family, even strangers who have impacted me in some positive way. You know, I send that good cheer out. Sometimes you'll see me stop in my lives as a fire truck that goes down the street. I live right behind a fire station. And I stop and I give that consideration, but it's not just consideration because I have this idea. I am dispersing energy throughout the day. And so when I stop in my lives to send a little bit, hoping it's a false alarm. Wow, right? In my own life, my dad was very sick. He had angina. Towards the end, he was having strokes numerous times during the course of the day. And it would be very nervous, right? It'd be very nerve wracking because he would lose not his mind, but his expression because, he could be sitting at the table and trying to say, past the mashed potatoes, but because he just had one of his strokes, they were the like mini strokes. He had medication and stuff he would take when he would have these, but for the most part, they were only able to treat the heart and not the arteries. He had very very bad arteries, very hardening of the arteries, and in the end, it wasn't his heart that got him, right? He got a diagnosis very young in his life that he wasn't going to live very long. He didn't expect to live long enough to get married and have children, and yet he expanded his life by double than what was expected that he was going to be able to have for himself. And that love for life, that passion for life that my dad had, because he sucked it up, right? He didn't care how sick he was. He did those jobs, those really physical crazy jobs. I don't know. He loved those jobs, the lumberjack, commercial fisherman. He worked hard, like physically worked hard, but he thrived in that. And like I said, he got to double his life expectancy by almost double. He lived to be 47 years old. But can you imagine waking up every single morning, right? Every single morning. I wake up every single morning with a full cup, ready to go out to the world and, right, disperse however I disperse. And my dad woke up in the morning and his first thought would have been, today could have been the last day of my life. Whenever I get in really, really bad situations, like those really bad ones, like when I almost became homeless, you know, you really want to put that effort, and I did in absolutely everything I said, everything I did, but I couldn't pull myself out of this idea of, right, it could get really bad. But one thing that I did do when it got really bad, I would always say, well, you're going to wake up tomorrow. No matter what, you're still going to wake up tomorrow. You're still going to be here tomorrow. And my father, right, he couldn't say that because he didn't know, because somebody else told him that he was coming to the end of his life when he still almost had 30 years left, right? And that's a hard one to chew on, but there are lessons in that. And being the experiencer that I am, being the spectator that I am, being the student that I am, but also being the participant in my own life, right? 100% my dad got it right, right? To enjoy life to the very best that you possibly can. Just suck it in, breathe it in, right? Because every moment that you're here, you have an opportunity to expand. And I think that's something a lot of people don't think about. They think about all the pain and the struggle and how they can't take it anymore. But you know what? If you had this idea that you're going to wake up tomorrow, you're still going to be here tomorrow, right? What could you accomplish between now and tomorrow that might help you feel a different way than you do in this moment, right? Maybe it's just doubling that one day, right? But in that one day, how much introspection, is that a word, that you can go deep and really take a look at your life and do a little bit of good by yourself, right? Maybe not in the moment, maybe, right, you truly have had enough, right? And I hope not, because like I said, my dad got to live almost double what they told him, right? And he did everything he ever, well, I'm not sure if he got to do everything that he wanted. He had lots of dreams. He was very creative and he was very much a dreamer, very much an instigator in a lot of his own problems, but in a lot of those problems that the family got dragged into too as a whole. We're talking, right? His children, his wife, right? Our living situation. But again, it offered up so many gifts, right? In that adapt and conquer, in recognizing that, you know what, you're still going to wake up tomorrow. You're still going to be here tomorrow. No matter how bad it is, you're still going to be here tomorrow. And what a comfort in that. And between now and tomorrow, what can I get done? Right? And it's not a beat you up, not in a mush, go harder, work faster, not in that kind of way, but in a way that says, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. And not only are we not done yet, we're moving forward and we're going to have fun with it. We're going to enjoy the landscapes. We're going to expand ourselves because, this crappy whatever that came in, right, to my life at a very young age and just stuck with me my entire life. I'm not doing that again, right? Nothing else. Let's just work on this and see what we can do now and get this one thing. If it's just this one thing, getting this off our plate, getting this stress off of us, getting this limiting belief out of our lives, right? And if you have that little bit of time, right? And maybe that's that little bit of mush in that, because I do recognize how precious life is and how it can be taken away from us. I don't dwell on these things. right? Because I'm still going to be here tomorrow. This is the way I feel, right? When I'm 80 years old, I'm still going to say, I'm going to be here tomorrow, right? No matter how bad it gets, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how sad it is, right? We're still going to be here tomorrow. What can we do from now until tomorrow that might give us a little bit different perspective, that we don't feel the same way we feel now, right? That we able to move ourselves forward a little bit. Was it that just that idea of you're still going to be here tomorrow, right? I love life. I appreciate life. I was a spectator, a student, right? And I sat there and I watched. I paid attention, and I went along. I went along for that ride, and it was comfortable. I felt safe in it, and there were lots of lessons in that, even in the stuff that wasn't what I would have preferred. And that is a truth. And that is a truth now. Okay, you guys. Okay, enough yapping. We are picking our 47th word. Is that what we're picking this week? Let me take a quick gander. Yes, our 47th word. Oh my goodness. We are getting close, you guys. We are definitely getting close. And if you've never popped into one of my lives, hi again, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And in this project that we've been doing this year, we've been picking a powerful word each week and each week, right? Working with it in different perspectives. Sometimes a childhood story, sometimes an experience, sometimes it's somebody else's experience. Sometimes, I follow a lot of great people with great ideas out there. And sometimes, in that appreciation for a truth, right? You spread it around a little bit. So sometimes it's in somebody else's perspective. Okay, let's have a sip. Let's grab my highlighter, my pen, and we are picking our 47th word, you guys. We're not doubling up any more words in this deck, only because we want to finish the project before I go on my trip. In September, we're planning a big trip, you guys. Huge. It's going to be so much fun, right? And just at the speed that I've become accustomed to too. I would like to spend more time in each of these provincial parks. I got 10 parks, right, that I'm visiting in 14 days. So you can imagine I'm going to appreciate my bed when I get home. But in the meantime, I'm going to have the most amazing time. Okay, you guys. Oh, I bought a printer tonight. I went and I bought a printer so I can print out all my area maps for where I want to go rock digging, my routes where I want to go between provincial parks, the road routes that I want to take for different sightseeing or adventures, or right. We might get an urban exploration, might come across an abandoned. We are going to be at some mines, so we'll see. Okay, you guys, we've had this word before. We're just going to take the next word that is above it, okay? So our 47th word, we're just going to go into it for a couple of minutes. First perspective, our word is, just want to make sure we haven't had it before because, oh, I think we've had it before. I just want to I can't double check. We've been doing this for a year. My highlighter has gone off, and man, I don't know, you guys, if we have done this word. It seems to me we have done this word already. I don't know. Okay, well, let's get into it tonight. If we have done this word, right, before, right? I know some of my highlighters, we've been doing this for a year, highlighting for a year. And if you've worked with highlighters, sometimes the highlighters fade out to where you can't tell whether or not it has been highlighted. And there is a number beside the word. And because I know we've done this word, but I don't know if we've done this word in pulling out for the card deck. If we have, I'll find out tonight. Tomorrow, we'll just go right into another word. Maybe we'll do an extra long live or something tomorrow. We'll figure it out. But the word we're touching on that may be our 47th word, I'm going to re-highlight it again, is this word presence. And I have talked about it a little bit in the past couple of weeks because there is somebody in that job that puts the roof over my head that we are bringing up within the company. And they're still fairly new, right? And they're young. And sometimes it's in that experience of failing, that experience of trying. Uh, Me and her have had these conversations about empaths and highly sensitive and how it's really hard sometimes to take direction from others, especially when you can feel intent. But that person's the authority. And even though you feel that intent, right, we can't just keep going from job to job to job saying, take this job and shove it and rah, 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 right? And I've have I done that? No, I haven't done that. But I have let people know that I am no longer happy at my job. And once you let a company or an employer know that you're not happy in their job, right, there is that tendency to take it personally. And there's that little bit of shuffling out the door, out with the old, in with the new. In that process of being a leader, there's a lot of failing in that, you know, lots of failing. And it's in those fails that we get good. And we talked about it this week because we got this word presence. This new manager, you know, on her shifts, she gets a little bit nervous still with some of the customers and in the interactions and in some of those conversations that you have and in that little bit of haggling and then the shoplifters and the homeless. And there are lots of issues to deal with as part of customer service, but it's also part of that HR because you're giving direction to your staff to how go about their shifts, go about their work week, right? Um, but because she doesn't like to deal with people, right? And it's not like she doesn't like to; she's just not comfortable with it. And it's a very, very important part of leadership, right? It is in that interconnections that we have with the people in our lives. And we might not have, probably don't have a lot of people in our lives, but the people that we do have in our lives, it's in our presence that people trust us, right? You go, oh, okay, well, Joe seems to know what he's talking about, right? We're lost out in the middle of the woods, and right, George there seems to think he can read the stars and the sun and stuff. You know what? I think I'm going to follow, right? And we follow that experience. And that's the thing, right? Somebody young, somebody new. And we had, like I said, we had this conversation about leadership, the difference between being a leader, right? And being an authority figure, right? You can come in for your shift and sit in the office and designate the job done, or you can get into the mix and get your hands dirty, learn a few things, fall flat in your face, have a few conflicts in that training that you're doing for yourself to get better at those connections and interconnections that we have when it comes to our customers, our peers, and the people that work beneath us. I'm 62 years old, right? I didn't know I was an empath, didn't know I was highly sensitive, but I did know that it was very, very hard to take dictation. It was very hard for me to be directed in what I wasn't getting right and not having what I was getting right recognized as a good job, right? Only because misery loves company, right? Because I'm not the same. I'm unique in my personality, and because I try to be genuine even in my work persona, right? Grateful I grew up with parents that were very determined, that we had good manners, right? That we understand the courtesy of our connections with other people, and I made it work for me, but it wasn't always comfortable, right? Because lots of times the authority would know, right? That I knew that they were just the authority. Right? And I can't help that because I'm genuine in that. But I'm also genuine in that experience I picked up along the way, right? And if it's sought after, it's there, right? I'm not holding it close to my heart. It's no secret recipe or right secret trick, right? It's something that will help all of us move forward, and that makes, I think, for a good leader, right? Because if I didn't do that, that would only make me a dictator, wouldn't it? It would only make me a designator of chores. It would only make me be somebody who was watching out for the shoe to drop and then to be able to know who to go to get it all sorted out. Right? In the end, that's what matters, is that it gets sorted out, that the customer is happy, right? The managers are happy, and the company is happy, right? And usually that all revolves in, right, how much we're bringing in, and also, right, how much we bring in is relatable to that customer service, the cleanliness of the store, and the leadership on the team that runs the store, right? So, our 47th word, if we have not done this before, is this word presence. And presence, right? That's leadership. It truly is. I mean, anybody can stand up and beat their chest and spew knowledge, right? But I'm going to feel it. I'm going to be the spectator in what's being served to me. And it's going to be in that recognition that you were kind in divvying up the chores or offering up your perspective, or right, letting somebody that know that they're doing a good job, or that in their experience, and whether right it's just that experience from being here for decades, or if it's that experience of just failing, because we learn things in the failing 100%, right? To each one of us, it's going to be served up a little bit differently in how we right present ourselves to the world and how we take it, right? So when we talk about presence here, I want to talk about a manager, and I only talk about people when I got something positive to say, or unless there's a very strong lesson in that, but I won't give names or anything like that, right? But I had a manager when I first started at this job that puts the roof over my head. Oh boy, she scared the poop out of me. She was a squirrel monkey from hell. Oh, and she worked hard, but she was smart. So she was definitely a narcissist because she was always right. You never argued with her, but there was something a little bit different about her narcissism in comparison to some of the other narcissists that I have known in my life. Mind you, that I have met other narcissists like this, but it was her knowledge, right? And I respected her because she was a leader. She had presence and right, she was cranking, but she would never ask you to do something that you she wouldn't be willing to do herself. And when you busted your butt alongside her, because right, she'd never leave you on your own. When you busted your butt alongside her, whether you did a good job or not, you would be told you did a good job because at the very least you tried. She was getting to be a very, very good friend of mine until, right, movement came into her life and she was whipped out like a carpet beneath my feet. And it was heartbreaking and it took some adjustment for me, right? But she was and is an amazing woman and she had presence, right? Was she perfect? No. Presentation could have done with a little bit of buffering and right, a little bit of shine, a little bit of work. But I wouldn't have asked for anything else because in allowing her to be herself, it gave me permission to be myself. And I told her right out when she went off on me, right? I just says, "How do you make me feel when you trigger me? Right? Do you think I like feeling like this?" And then right after that, she'd always give me the heads up when she was going to tear me a new one. We got to be good friends. I still consider us good friends. I haven't seen her since before Easter, right? But, you know, we don't always have to see the people closest to us, right? Moment to moment, day to day. It's kind of codependent in a way. And in those lessons that I've gotten, right? I know my tendencies in codependency, right? But at the same time, nobody can deny the person that I am because I'm creating this life for me. I'm making these decisions. I'm making this movement, and I'm willing to do that adjustment if I have to. I'm willing to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm willing to make those hard decisions, right? But I'm not willing to cave in under pressure. I am not willing to give up, but I'm most definitely willing to adapt and conquer 100%. Okay, you guys, we got this word presence this week. It has been coming across my path in the past few weeks. We have the one word. It's the main topic for the whole week. I'm in it. Even after my live, I come into my live. I'm not off doing other things. Well, I am. But those lessons are coming across my path in my experiences, my conversations, and of course, YouTube, right? They're on it 100%. And they have offerings for me to learn too, right? But that word presence, that's going to be a good one to tackle this week because, like I said, it has been coming across my path. And I think because as we move, right, we gain that experience. And sometimes we think that just because we fail all the time, that because we haven't reached that goal or because it's just taking too darn long, sometimes right? We don't think we do have that. We don't think anybody's listening. We don't think anybody's paying attention, right? But it's in that presence, that confidence, that belief, right? You believe in yourself. You believe in yourself. Nobody else might believe in you, but you believe in yourself. So forget about that other part and just stay on what you believe in and just move with that, because if you move with that, you'll be the evidence. And once you're the evidence, right? Other people will follow in line 100%, right? 100%. I've seen it happen in my own movement. Okay, you guys, I'm tired. That's it for my day. I've dispersed it all, nothing left, and that's just the way I like it. But guaranteed, I'll have a good sleepy tonight, and I'll wake up in the morning and it will be full again. And tomorrow will be a busy day too. Wednesday. Wednesday will be my day, right? Sit in my chair, don't even move, right? Just take in what I take in. Everybody, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.